You know how hard it is to buy a gift for good old dad on Father's Day or his birthday. What do you get? A guy who has everything. And maybe you're the guy who has everything. Maybe you've already got a sports car, a family SUV, a hot-looking convertible for your hot-looking wife. What is a well-heeled guy like you going to get as a good daily driving machine with a little bit extra? Something that'll take your mind off your stocks and your real estate investments. Something that'll make you feel special every time you get in it. Something like this, the Audi S8. This is the car for the person who has everything. Take an already beautiful and luxurious Audi A8, throw in a V10 motor, add some tasty upgrades, and you've got a $130,000 toy for the rich. The S8 sits 20 millimeters lower than the A8 and it runs on beautiful 20-inch wheels, so the stance is all business. There's a small lip spoiler on the trunk, S8 badging, brushed aluminum side mirrors, chunky looking exhaust tips, and the most important thing for the big cat owner, the V10 badge on the front fender, letting everybody know that this is a potent machine. I gotta tell you, I'm a fan of the styling. It's so simple and elegant. The good thing is this car will still look current 5 years from now. Let's have a look around. The keyless entry system is very precise. Sometimes we struggle with these systems. This one works well. Just lift the handle and the car is unlocked. And to lock it, just touch this button on the handle. The trunk is automatic both up and down. The trunk is long, but the sides have all been covered in. I love dashboard setups that make the driver feel important because they're probably paying for the car. And why not? They're the most important person in the car. Now this vehicle says you're the boss, especially the wide center console here that just looks all the business. It's got enough buttons on here that'll make any passenger say, ooh, that's cool. Now by contrast, BMW has eliminated a lot of the buttons off their dashboards, and in my opinion, they look just a little bit too stark. Now watch this. You push the start button and up pops the computer interface in the dash. Now that's slick. Every screen that pops up has 4 options, one on each corner, that corresponds with the buttons around the controller. Push one and you're in business. The screen also gives a readout for any button pushed on the dash, like the fan, heated seats, or temperature. It's very easy to use. When the car is in reverse, the backup camera pops on. The S8 comes with beautifully bolstered sports seats that are covered in the most sumptuous leather. There's S8 on the instrument cluster here behind the steering wheel, which is fairly easy to use. This car, by the way, has the extra carbon fiber. Now, Audi really is near the top of the class when it comes to interior fit, finish, and refinement. These cars are just beautiful on the inside, and they definitely make a big cat like you feel special on the inside. Now, there's one thing. It's the cup holders. They are so small. Why are Germans so bad at cup holders? Okay, here come the stats. This car has a 5.2-liter V10 engine with direct injection technology. It produces 450 horsepower and 398 pound-feet of torque. By the way, that's 15 more horsepower than the S6. And it can launch this big rig from 0 to 60 miles an hour in just 4.9 seconds. It's been a few months since we had the S6, but from memory, this car is quieter, so the driver doesn't get to hear the sound of the motor as much. That's good and bad. More luxurious, but not as sporty. The A8 and this S8 both have a 6-speed automatic transmission. It's a Tiptronic, so you can do the shifting either on the console here or paddles behind the steering wheel. Now the other thing is this vehicle now has a sport mode in the transmission. You just slide the lever down into S. Now because it's such a big vehicle, I'm not inclined to start using the paddle shifters with it. I just put it in S and let the car do all the work. And it's an adaptive system, so the harder you drive the car, the more aggressive the shifts will become. Now speaking of aggressive, this vehicle has such a big engine and the transmission is quite lively. Even when you're in regular D, it's hard to get a smooth launch away from a traffic light. Everybody's head sort of snaps back. The A8 has an air ride suspension for optimal comfort. This system has been adapted in the S8 for more dynamic handling. On the information screen, the driver can choose from comfort, sport, or automatic. The comfort setting really is soft, not my style. The sport is best suited for aggressive driving, not the most comfortable. So I opted for the auto setting, which can alter the ride depending on the type of driving being performed. The lift setting is good for raising the car up to go over uneven surfaces or high driveways, which is a good idea because it helps save the front spoiler. Well, we're driving the top of the line Audi. Of course, it has Quattro. This system is not designed just for safety. It's also to improve the ride and handling. It has the ability to split the torque with 40% of the torque going to the front wheels and 60% to the rear wheels for greater dynamic characteristics. Now, what a lot of people don't know about the A8 and the S8 is that it has an aluminum structure, which is to make it a little bit lighter and more rigid. But even with all that aluminum built into the car, it's still heavy. It weighs 2,080 kilograms. So it is heavy, right? And it's got a V10 under the hood. So I guarantee you they won't be using an S8 as a parade vehicle in any environmental parade anytime soon. But you know what? For the person that can afford this car, it does make them feel like the big dog. First of all, it's expensive, so you're eliminating most people from ever even looking at this car. So you take an A8 and you turn it into an S8, and that really makes it unique. The power is linear and progressive, and there's a lot of it there when you need it. The interior makes you feel really quite important. So job accomplished. Big, powerful German sedan for somebody who has lots of money. The V10 engine used in this S8 is derived from the Lamborghini Gallardo. Now, the regular A8 has a 4.2-liter V8 that has 100 less horsepower and only 73 pound-feet less torque. It doesn't have the same cachet as this S8, but for the average luxury car buyer, it's plenty. This car, the S8, isn't that much more excessive. I did like the sport suspension settings on the S8, and I like to see them integrated into the A8. This really is the luxury sedan for the guy who has everything, especially a healthy bank balance. It's a gorgeous car, it's got a sumptuous and luxurious interior, and it's a rare model, which definitely is appealing. Now you know what to buy yourself for your next birthday.
To purchase this car, new or used, go to driving.ca.